Welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. As always, I'm here with Nick. I'm here with Emerson. Before we get into it, want to remind you guys and everyone to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you are die-hard Sooner fans like us. It's Tuesday, guys. Is everybody doing all right today? Doing good?
Yeah.
Your hearts are a little
A lot better this week than what it was last week.
okay.
Yes,
okay, that's
much
good.
better.
That's good. It's Tuesday. It's been a little bit since OU game. Oklahoma beats Kansas 52-42, 10 points in Norman, Oklahoma. Hands Kansas their second straight loss, and Oklahoma ends their 3-game losing streak, putting them at 4-3 into the bye week. Nick, some thoughts about the game, what you saw?
Yeah, just some quick thoughts. Kansas comes into this game 1 game away from being bowl eligible. Lance Leipold has had this team ready to go this season, and they didn't have Jalen Daniels, but they had Jason Bean, a guy who has some experience. He's a fifth-year senior and very athletic. I think our defense did well, kind of stopping their modern-day triple option, I should say. And I just want to say Oklahoma gets their first win since mid-September over a ranked opponent in Kansas. We finished with over 700 yards. We have a total of 701 total yards of offense and a season high of 52 points. So that's very impressive for me. In our preview, I said Oklahoma has to start out fast. We got to score first. That's something we've struggled with all season long, and we did exactly that. We capitalized, pass first, pass heavy, and it was a big day offensively for the Sooners.
I agree, Nick. This was a really pivotal game, I think, for Oklahoma's mentality as a team, because if you go into the bye week with a losing record, you're over halfway through the season and it's not looking too good. But they bounced back with a W, and now they have a winning record going into the bye. They have a little bit of confidence. This was a very good Kansas team that they beat, and I think the fact that Kansas put up 42 points on them shows that. But obviously, Dylan Gabriel is the most important player on the team, without a question.
Clearly, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Potentially the most valuable player to their team in the country.
Okay. You're 100% right. You are 100% right, because you look at Oklahoma fans, as a fan base, we've been spoiled the last 20 years with quarterbacks. Jason White, Sam Bradford, Landry Jones, Baker
Heupel.
Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heupel, Kyler Murray, all those guys, okay? And
Jalen Hurts, the only
Jalen
undefeated
Hurts.
quarterback in the NFL. Yeah.
Exactly. And, as an OU fan, you just get used to good quarterback play, and you take that for granted. We've all taken that for granted. All three of us have taken that for granted. And then when you go into the first 3 games of this year, 3-0, Oklahoma, you're like, okay, they haven't skipped a beat. They're rolling. Well, you lose Dylan Gabriel, and you see the drop-off right there, and you see how bad the quarterback play was. And there were people bitching about Gabriel, saying he was not accurate at all. Guys, we need this guy, and we are very thankful to have this guy on our team.
I want to give you guys a stat that I saw during the Kansas game to go along with your guys' point here. Before Dylan Gabriel gets the start, we had previously 21 drives without him. We get 1 touchdown out of it.
21 drives.
21 drives, we get 1 touchdown out of it. When Dylan Gabriel comes back, his first possession, touchdown, and he matched it. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that, guys.
And it wasn't like a busted play. Like, they were moving down the field all day, chunk by chunk.
They passed every single down until they got into the red zone. And it was a long drive. It was a very long drive. And I want to say this. Dylan Gabriel, in his previous game starting, yes, he has had some issues overthrowing, throwing bullet passes, just out of nowhere, just off target. This game, it looked like he was getting his feet set. He had time, thanks to the offensive line, but he was throwing lob passes that had a lot more touch on it instead of just zipping into a wide receiver. and it wasn't an issue. He wasn't throwing receivers, over by 10 yards. I never saw that in this game. He looked way better. It looked like he had some time to think about kind of some mistakes he made in the past, and he executed.
I agree. And before we get off of Dylan Gabriel, just because I know a lot of people are talking about him this week, he was the focal point of the offense. I'm going to share a tweet here from Sooner Script at Sooner Script, and this is a good one. And for those of you listening, I'll just read it. It says, Dylan Gabriel has a better passer rating, completion percentage, and yards per attempt this year than Caleb Williams. I just thought that would make all the Oklahoma fans a little happier and maybe change their perspective on Dylan Gabriel if the Kansas game did not already do that, because that's something that you like to hear, and it's not affected by the games that he missed. Those are average stats. So, nice little tidbit of knowledge. Thank you, Sooner Script.
There you go. And, not having a quarterback for however long we did, sometimes you don't know what you got until it's gone. So
he was definitely a playmaker. He finished the game 29 of 42 with 403 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He did throw 1 interception his first of the year. That puts him at 13 total touchdowns against 1 interception. I believe he fumbled 1 time as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't really
Yeah, but that doesn't take away of
No,
how impressive he looked whatsoever.
Well, the pitch was weird. That fumbled option where he faked the pitch, that one was
Well, there
pretty bad, but
there was one where he dropped back to pass, and then somebody grabbed the ball as he had it up before he could make the motion to go forward, and it was
I think it was Javonte Barnes on that.
Javonte Barnes just bumped into his arm on that one. But the fumble, the option one was bad, but I'll give him 1 for his first game back. So maybe he's just got tiny hands. I don't know.
You guys, I can't stress enough how important it is that we had 701 total yards offensively. So many guys were a part of this offense, but if we're going to talk about playmakers, somebody we haven't mentioned yet, Eric Gray, you guys. He
lit it up.
He had 20 carries, 176 yards on the ground. He also had 23 yards receiving off 2 receptions, but 2 touchdowns on the ground as well. And you guys, he was making people miss, and he was averaging, it seemed like 10 yards a carry at least, but it was about 8.8 when it's all said and done. But oh my gosh, did he have a day. And then wide receivers. Mims had over 100. He gets robbed out of a touchdown personally right before half that we didn't quite punch it in on. Braden Willis has over 100 yards, and every single wide receiver was involved. We set a touchdown catch. Farouk was involved. Drake Stoops was involved. Gavin Freeman, the walk-on freshman, has a huge catch that gives us a touchdown right there. And then
that was a nice
catch. Was that little guy that scored the jet sweep against UTEP? Was that that same guy?
That's exactly who it is.
And it was funny because the whole you could hear on the broadcast the fans yell Stoops. They thought
it wasn't Stoops.
It was Freeman. Yeah, that was a great catch. Awesome. He laid out for it.
He did.
That was, and I feel like a lot of people forgot about it because it was the second. It was right before the second touchdown of the game, so it kind of got lost in the, the offense. But yeah, that was a heck.
We at the Center Saloon didn't forget. We remembered.
Shout out Gavin Freeman. Go get you a scholarship, man.
Yes,
anyways, you guys, we got to give credit to this offensive line because personally, I think it's the best game that they had. We had Wanye Morris, we had Anton Harrison in this game, and I think if I wasn't mistaken, Robert Conjal was in as well as Andrew Rame. So Robert Conjal was that left guard instead of McCade Matower.
Interesting. I did not notice that.
Yeah, and then we had Chris Murray at that right guard position as well. But
you
guys, they gave Dylan Gabriel plenty of time to throw. He looked great. He looked comfortable. And then obviously in our rushing attack, great holes, and they were just making it happen.
There were times where Eric Gray wasn't being touched until 10 yards down the field, and that's because of the offensive line.
Oh yeah.
There were some huge holes, for Eric Gray to run. So
yeah. Yep.
Offense looked really good, and Braden Willis blocking. I mean, he just brings it every single week, and he was punishing defenders every chance he got. And it looks like he's the type of guy that just loves to put someone in the dirt. So, and he's shown that, game in and game out, win or loss. So happy for him, and, happy for him to score, get a little bit of recognition. So,
No,
yeah.
totally. So the defense, okay, here's the deal. They weren't amazing, but they were good enough to win, okay?
Yep.
And the progress has gotten better since the Red River Shootout, okay? It's going in the right direction, okay? This is not an overnight fix, okay? So all you Sooner fans out there that say Brent Venables can't coach defense, piss off, okay? Give it some time. We got that number 3 spot in the recruiting, and we're holding on to it. We're holding on to it.
I think per 247 within the last couple days, I think we're now number 4. I think Ohio State might have jumped us by chance, but we're still right there. We're still within 1 or 2 points.
As long as it's not a mass exodus like we saw when Lincoln Riley left, I think we'll be fine. That easily top 10. I'd really like to keep that top 5. So, and we can talk about that later.
I've seen multiple recruits saying that they love this coaching staff and that it's the best coaching staff in all of college football, which I honestly think that's not too far off. If you think about it, top to bottom, they have great coaches. But I want to say this about the OU defense. In the preview video, I also said we need to get away from the 3-down lineman look. The rushing lanes just aren't there. We can't make it happen. And then rushing the passer, we're not getting there. So it's, to me, it was almost pointless running 3-down linemen. We got away from that. We were running 4. I think they did a really good job with run fits, especially against Kansas, the way they run a triple option, but they like to run play action out of it, and they can also bomb it down the field. They don't shy away from that. But I think they did a really good job containing Jason Bean. They also did a good job. There was one play that Devin Neal got loose, but that was it. Also, there was 2 guys. It was Lance Arnold and then that tight end Fairchild, massive dude.
Fairchild's he's a good player.
He is really good. They both had over 100 yards, and that was pretty much their passing offense, those 2 guys. They both combined 12 receptions and about 220 yards. But I just want to say there was a lot of progress with the defense. There was a couple of guys that stood out. C.J. Colden had an amazing one-handed interception that took so much concentration that he got up there on his vert. It looked crazy. And he tipped it one-handed to himself, caught it with the same hand. And then Deshaun White, there was a play where he batted the ball down on the line of scrimmage, forcing a 3rd down, and then he gets a pick the next play in coverage.
Really nice play.
Stood out to me.
Back-to-back nice plays.
Yeah, Key Lawrence had an opportunity at an interception. He drops it, but he didn't let it get to him. He didn't. He more so celebrated because it was a 3rd down, forced a 4th down punt, and he was making some big time hits. He laid out one of the running backs right at the line of scrimmage, and boy was that crowd fired up about it. It was just overall, I think it wasn't a bad performance. If you get that score at halftime, going into half, and then we don't turn the ball over twice, I think it's a little bit more out of hand than what the score shows.
Here's what I'll say about the defense, and I agree with a lot of what you said, Nick. I like that they switched to the 4 down front. I think it helped in the run game, and I think it helped contain Devin Neal. But they have to get better pressure on the quarterback, and I understand Kansas was getting the ball out pretty quick for most of this game, and Jason Bean, I mean, he is a fast straight line runner, so I do understand that. But with 4 down linemen, I mean, our Mason Thomas seemed like he was the most disruptive player in the pass rush this week, and I think that factors into why the secondary gave up, a decent amount of yardage through the air this week, is that accompanied with the fact that they were playing a lot of different guys. They played Robert Spears Jennings, and he had some really big plays, which I like to see. Like you mentioned,
you mentioned that.
Yeah, C.J. Colden, he was one of the guys you talked about, Nick, before the season started, and kudos to you. He gets in and he gets some playing time. He transferred from Wyoming, so he's obviously a veteran.
That's back-to-back games where he's had an interception.
Yeah, you got to get on the field at that point if you're putting up that type of production. So, I think that you have to consider that when you're thinking about the secondary. They played a lot of different guys. They're missing probably their best player, Billy Bowman, which is crazy to say because he's a true sophomore. But and you got Woody Washington playing out of position. So, but overall, I think the defense did show signs of improvement, and it's a complicated defense, and it's going to take time for them to understand the defense, and then also for Brent Venables to get his guys in. So.
Yep.
I'm not. Yep. I would say like later on, like years down in the road, don't be afraid if you see the 3-2-5 or whatever they were playing in these last couple of games where they got torched, because he'll have the guy. You need a huge nose tackle to play that kind of defense and things like that. So, and then I'm glad you brought up Deshaun White. Really, everyone's been calling for Jaron Kanak to get more playing time. I mean, and we're also guilty of it. But really, Deshaun White, I think he's had a pretty solid year. He's got picked on like maybe a couple plays throughout the whole year, playing a new position where he's out in space a lot. So I was really happy to see him, have a good game and get his first career interception, which is crazy to think about. But overall the defense is showing signs of improvement. So
on Kanak, you can't put that guy in. Like new guys like that, you wanna give them time to develop a bit, and you don't want to crush their confidence right away. You know what I mean? Going out there being brand new and just going out there and just built for failure. He's going to be the guy, and just give him a year or so. Give him a year to flourish, get some experience. He will be totally fine, but he's too new, to all those OU fans that say he needs to go out there. You need to allow him to, sit back and gain a little bit of experience and watch and mature a little bit, and he'll be there. He'll be there. Just don't. Agree. That's just the thing of putting new guys out there so quick, is it does kill their confidence real fast, and you can't kill a guy's confidence. You were seeing him out there when they were winning and having blowouts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then if their confidence is ruined, I mean, if they ever get it back, that's a multi-year process, and there's a potential starter that you can't even play really at that point. It is. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, and I guess last thing I want to say is, you guys like the jerseys? Did you guys like them?
Yeah. Not for an 11 a.m. game.
No, yeah.
It was kind of hard to read the numbers.
You're right.
But if it was like a night game,
primetime game. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And then I thought the Unity idea was really good. I like the Unity on the back of the jerseys. The only really crappy part is nobody could tell who they were. But other than that, I thought it was awesome. You
guys, I think those are way better than the Rough Rider Unis.
I do too.
Especially like you guys said, night games are going to be so badass, those things.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
do you think they'll have an away jersey?
I don't know. And see, I was telling him, I was hoping they don't do away with the Rough Rider jerseys, because I do like them. You know what I mean? Unless they're
these ones are better.
Unless I guess they completely do away with them, and then they have this as our alternate from now on. Who knows? But I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a away Unity jersey and then go away with the Rough Riders. New era. I mean, if I was a head coach, I would probably feel the same way.
Yeah. And I don't think it would be a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they lost a couple games in those Rough Riders, so
we did.
Got some bad juju.
Those jerseys are a lot more badass since they won in them. If we would have lost to Kansas, we would have all hated those jerseys.
A lot of fans would be blaming it on the jerseys.
You know what I mean?
That definitely makes an impact on.
Exactly. Well, we are at 20 minutes. We went a little bit long, but hey, there's three of us. We haven't all three been together for a little bit.
And it's a bye week, so
it is a bye week. So if you're in the car going to work and you want to listen to some OU football talk, this is the podcast to listen to. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of OU fans talking some OU football. So, Nick, do you have anything?
I would just say, be ready for our Oklahoma versus Iowa State preview video. That's going to be coming probably sometime within the next week here. Probably won't be too long, but we're going to try to get that out as soon as we can. So, but with that being said, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and Boomer Sooner.
Is that it? Or
Boomer.
are we gonna have Emerson go? Oh, okay. Is that it?
Or-
Yes. No. Emerson,
yeah,
do you have anything?
maybe during the bye week we might talk a little bit of recruiting because we didn't get to it, but we'll see.
Okay. Cool.
That's all
Sounds
I got.
good. Alrighty.
Boomer.